Second, now let me click the button. Okay, hello and welcome. I hope we're live on the Plastic Krak Heads channel, and tonight is something a little bit different. Rather than playing a game, we're going to be discussing lists, which is always fun. And hopefully you guys can all see my screen fairly clearly. Let me zoom it in a bit. If there's any problems with sound or audio or what you see on the screen, please just let us know and we'll get it fixed. And yeah, Plastic Krak Heads is a channel where we mainly play 40k. I say mainly because I think that's all we've done so far, but we do plan on playing other tabletop board games at some point. So if you want to see more 40k or other things, then consider subscribing. However, today we're talking about Clan Wars 2021, which is a 40k tournament happening this Saturday in Stirling at Common Ground Games. Do you want to jump in for a minute here, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm just trying not to pick my nose live on stream. That's my main challenge in this video. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, well, you've been to Clan Wars before. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so this is probably my favorite format of game. So the idea is that normally it's teams of 4, but I guess because like COVID and they're trying to like reduce the amount of numbers, it's teams of 3 this year. And the idea is basically you enter as a team, you play games matched against another team. So you're playing solo games, but then the points are kind of totaled up between the 3 games to determine which team won or lost. So it's almost like I'm not a huge fan of doubles format, but this is like you're playing normal 40k, but still contributing as a team. So that's kind of why I think it's really good. So, and the selection is a little bit interesting. So there's some strategy to the selection at the start. So when you start off a game, your team captain puts forward I can't remember if they call it a defender attacker. Basically, you put one of your team members face down, and the other team do the same. And then whoever's face down gets to pick the other 2 from the other team. So whoever's down basically gets the choice, and then whoever isn't selected is paired off against each other. So at the start, you're basically trying to figure out who they're going to put down and who they're going to leave in reserve, and then who you think you want to get a choice. And normally the tables are of different weights as well, terrain-wise. So you've got like a light table, a medium table, and a heavy table. And again, like depending on who I can't remember if you roll off or it's whichever team as the attacker defender gets to pick the first table, then the other team get to pick the other 2 tables. So yeah, that's a kind of rough idea of how it works.
Sure, cool. So, although there is strategy in picking, there's no way to determine really who will play against who. We were speaking about this the other night. You almost want to put your strongest player down first, but it's a tough one, I guess, right? Because like you kind of know what you're up against, and in some cases, like we have a Death Guard player. I play Marines. I find Death Guard horrific to play against. So it would be great if our Death Guard player could play against a Marine player, because like every weapon in his army is 2 damage. Every single model takes -1 damage, but it's not going to be that simple, right? Like you just can't arrange it. So yeah, although there is a bit of strategy there, it's still going to be a pretty even format. So where do you want to start then? We want to start by talking about our lists for this tournament. A little bit, and I guess anyone that watches the Blood Angels Commander channel on Monday nights will probably be pretty familiar with the lists that we've been running, because we use them quite a lot. Or I've been trying to get mine together for a long time actually now, probably like 6 months, just because COVID shut everything down. So, but I've got your list here. You are our team captain, Andrew, so do we want to start? And something else that's pretty nice with this tournament is that you have to put all the secondaries that you like. There's none of this like asking your opponent, hey, how many points do I get, or how many characters do you have for assassinate, how many things do I get for bring it down. You actually have to declare that when you submit the list, so it makes picking secondaries like not quite a lot easier, but at least you know, you have the full knowledge of the secondaries, right?
Yeah, and I guess like it saves in the startup of each of the games, rather than like having to ask everyone, and try and figure out what, because like, I mean, I don't know what my list does for no prisoners normally.
Yeah, so, I mean,
I'd have to go like figure that out. But yeah, this is the first time I've seen this, and I think it's a really good format. But I mean, most of the time before, I've generally been playing ITC, which this kind of wasn't relevant. So I guess this is the first time that this has been a thing. So
yeah. Cool. So if anyone's got any questions on the chat, we will try and get to them. Have you got chat? Are you seeing chat on your screen as well, Andrew?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right, cool. So if anyone's got any questions, we can get to them. And yeah, I mean, no prisoners in general. I guess even against a Necron list, I found that even against a Necron list with your, what was it, revives on 5s, rerolling 1s, I didn't manage to max no prisoners. Like, I don't know what army you would need to take no prisoners against to be able to get 15 points. It would be
a million Gretchen. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but who's running a million Gretchen? Or a million Poxwalkers, I suppose. All right, so let's skip over the points and stuff here. It is Warlord is obviously Morgan Val, and her Warlord trait is the one that lets her fight with full rerolls and fight twice in combat, or.
So she gets the fight twice in combat. It's just like an inbuilt ability, and she has to take Righteous Rage. And Righteous Rage is the full rerolls in combat. So it lets you use her ability for rerolls on another unit, and then charge her in and still get full rerolls herself.
And fight twice, which is brutal. And she's got exploding 6s, and she's got mortal wounds on 6s as well.
If she uses her like strong attack, she gets 5 attacks, and then passion bursts on 6s, and then. Yeah, every 6 on the wound roll is a mortal wound in addition to the flat 3 damage.
Yeah, she's horrific. Especially if she fights twice. The only thing you can do against Morgan Val is trying to get her to use her fight twice early in the game, I guess, or kill her before she can do it. But it's very difficult.
I mean, she drops pretty quick. Like people say she's a bit OP for 265 points, but like as soon as you actually hit her, she goes down pretty fast because she's only got 8 wounds. She's got the -1 damage. The half damage, but still, it's
the half damage is nice against Thunderhammers, that's for sure. It's definitely stronger against some weapons, I guess. But okay, why don't you run us through this list, because this is your list.
Sure. So we've got Patrol, Argent Shroud, Morgan Val's the Warlord there. She has to be the Warlord. Just got a generic Battle Sister squad to fill out the Patrol. 2 Crusaders, which are really useful for doing Octarius data. I did like a video on that on the channel before. We have got 2 Dominion squads with the stupidly powerful Artificer Stormbolters, which are like the 2 damage Stormbolters, but they've also got a 1 CP strat that lets them just do like pretty much guaranteed 6 mortal wounds. We have a Retributor squad with the Amorium Cherub and 4 Multi-Meltas, and also a Rhino. So I've only taken a single Amorium Cherub because of the WTC ruling that you're only allowed to use 1 per turn. So it generally they die after they shoot. So I didn't see the point in wasting 5 points on like a second one that's never going to get it shoot right. So Argent Shroud have got the ability to advance and fire as well. So
yeah, I guess the key thing here is to keep them in range of Morgan Val, because reroll 1s for hits and wounds is very, very useful. Right, that's her aura, isn't it? 1s for hits and wounds?
1s for hits and... Yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, it's so strong. Okay, and then we're on to the second detachment?
Yeah, I'm just noticing there's a Retributor squad missing out that list. I'll have to check it.
No, it's because it's wrapped it onto the end of the line here for some reason.
Is it? Oh, yeah. Right, yeah, okay, I see.
I don't think I would have permission to edit this, but yeah, it just looks like it's wrapped it for some reason.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking like, surely, I did put 2 squads in, yeah. So, one good thing about the Retributor squads here is that they are allowed to advance and fire out the Rhino, which is huge because that means they don't get the... Well, they can advance, so you're speaking like 9 inches out the Rhino plus D6, and then they can fire without any penalty, so they're not even taking the -1 from the heavy weapons. That really needs like FAQ to like decide one way or the other officially, though.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. If you have positioned Val well, then you have a lot of nasty firepower. That it's very hard firepower to counter as well, because I mean, even if the opponent player kills a Rhino, they're going to have to put a lot of shots in to kill the Rhino, and then when you disembark, you can usually, like, if you lose one model off the squad, you just take the sergeant gives you nothing, right? Like, she doesn't carry a multi-meta, she doesn't provide any bonus except leadership, I guess, right? So there's no reason to...
Yeah, she's just in a Blight of Wound, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So she is a Blight of Wound if you lose the Rhino. Okay, Vanguard detachment.
Okay, so we've got Celestine, who I didn't actually take it, first, but I've been finding her really, really powerful. And again, like, she's only worth 3 VP at this tournament. So that's amazing for having like 3 characters. We've got 2 squads of Sacrosants with the Spear of the Faithful, which is basically the 2 damage version of the Anointed Halberd. The Anointed Halberd is the strength 6 minus 4 is Bloody Rose and 1 damage each. We have Dogmata with the Litany of Enduring Faith, which gives them the... I can't remember which way around it is. It's one of them is a +1 in Vun, one of them is a +1 advance and charge, basically the Sister's Chaplain.
Mm-hmm.
And the Sigil of... I don't even know how you pronounce it, I'm not going to try. The Sigil lets her...
It's like Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the Sigil lets her take an extra hymn and lets her cast an extra one as well, so...
is there any way that sisters can do litanies on 2s, or it's always 3s?
3s. There's a 1 CP strat to let you auto do it.
Okay.
And that can be in any phase as well. So, like, say you want to like take Repentia out of a Rhino and then do it, like, in the fight phase or in the charge phase or something, you can do that.
Oh, that's really good. That's 2 CP for Space Marines. Harsh.
Yeah, but sisters are better. So, got 3 squads of 7 Repentia. 2 squads of Seraphim with the pennant that lets them reroll charges. 2 penitent engines with the heavy flamers and buzzblades. They're the ones that can advance and charge, basically. And they also get this awesome like extra 2-inch consolidation and pylon. 2-inch pylon and consolidation.
Yep. 10 inches of additional movement, I guess. The dilemma, I suppose, is if you kill a unit with another... If you kill your charge target with another unit, then you can get 10 inches of movement, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. And finally, the Repentia Superior, who has got Indomitable Belief, which gives +1 in Vun save. So that can mainly affect the Sacrosants can't be buffed anymore, so it's mainly affecting the Repentia and the Zephyr potentially, giving the Repentia a 5-up and the Zephyr a 4-up because they've already got the +1 for themselves.
Yeah. It's a nice list. I think when we played this week, I think in turn 1 when I killed the Gemini Superiors, I think it might have been worth you regrouping Celestine and rezzing them. You know that? Well, I was going to ask when you were going through it, what Gemini Superiors, are they on like have they got a 4+ invulnerable save? What do they actually have?
Yeah, 4+ in Vun. I think it's 2 wounds. But any damage is allocated to them before Celestine. So
yeah, and Celestine is going to come back because she's got the revive on the 2-up, basically, which is I'd say it's pretty reliable. I mean, like, 1 out of 5 games you fail it, or 1 out of 6 games you fail it. So you almost have to factor in that you're going to have to kill Celestine twice, right? If you're going to only kill her once, you're super lucky, right? So like, as an opponent fighting against that, I think you have to always accept that she is coming back, right? If you don't plan for it, it's going to come and kick you in the ass. So I think that, I think it was turn 1 I killed the 2 Geminis. Or, no, maybe it was your turn 1, I think. I think at that point, I would have fallen her back, and, I mean, does she have to... Oh, you start the action at the end of the command phase, so you can't fall her back and res them. You if you want to res them, you need to stay still, is it?
Yeah, and you can't be within engagement range. The other strat you can do is 1 CP. You can like fly her away. But again, like when you take her back, it's past the end of the command phase, so you can't then do the action. So
Okay.
But you can take her somewhere that isn't near anyone, I guess, and
get back into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. Okay. And Celestine has -1 damage as well. I didn't realise that on Monday night till I started hitting her with 2 damage weapons, and I was like, oh, did she have -1 damage last last edition? No,
it's new. She was more of like a buff character last, like in the old codex, because she gave like +1 invuln save and stuff like that to people around her. So she's a lot more of a beat stick in this edition, well, in this codex.
Yeah, this list has a lot of threats in it. The Repentia are super scary. If they charge anything, they kill them. The Zephyrin can be super scary as well. The Penitent Engines, I hate Penitent Engines. Like, they're so difficult to kill, and they can do so much damage. The max shots with the Flamers as well can be pretty horrific. And then you've got the Repentia, the Retributors to do anti-vehicle. You've got the Dominions that can always put out like a ton of mortal wounds. It's a good list. I like it. Feeling confident with it?
No.
No, okay.
I think it's fine. I mean, we went through like a few iterations trying different things. But yeah, it's hard to, and it's like tough not to like tailor to each other as well when we were playing.
Yeah, we play a lot. Yeah, exactly.
So it's trying to find something that'll be kind of good against everything, right? But
yeah, that's a tricky one. Do you want to run over? Will we run over Colin's list even though he hasn't managed to make it?
Yeah.
And I guess we can probably go down to the actual start of the list. On Colin's list, I believe we both fought this list now.
Mm-hmm.
And how have you been beating it? Have you been losing against it? How have you been getting on against it?
50-50. It just depends how things go. Well, it depends if I can kill Mortarion or not. Basically, I've got to put like my entire army into Mortarion to kill him. So and then it's like what position I'm in after that point. Because it makes me kind of commit. I mean, your two choices of Mortarion are either to like kill him or ignore him, right? And ignore him's not always the best ploy because he can move so fast, and he's got that horrendous power. Just like roll 7 dice, and then if you roll for every one above the toughness, take a mortal wound. And with a combo like the Death Guard's -1 toughness, if you do that on a squad of sisters, every 3 up on 7 dice is 1 dead. So that's horrendous.
Yeah, and I think Mortarion can cast like 3 powers as well, so you can throw a smite out as well, and he usually takes the power that makes him -1 to hit, which comes back to the fact that like you have to super commit to killing him. So yeah, I've had mixed results against this list. I did beat it last time, but I was losing. It's funny, I lost against it and I had more forces left on the table, and then I beat it and I had less forces left on the table. So this is a strong list, and it's a very elite heavy focus list, I guess. He's got the Demon Prince, and I'm probably not going to go too into depth on the psychic powers for Death Guard because honestly I don't remember them all. But the Fetid Bolt Drones with the Flesh Mowers, 12 attacks, strength 7, I think. They're like -2 damage. I've seen Colin roll hot on these and just absolutely wreck me. He killed a whole squad of Sanguinary Guard with one of these things in a single turn.
The Blight Haulers are tough as well, though. I mean, they've got 9 wounds, and they've got a a Plague Spewer, I think it's called, and
missile launcher.
Missiles, yeah. And then I would say with the Iron Claw Furnace from the Demon Prince gives them like a 4-up invuln. Which
yeah, and they are -1 to hit in combat, and they actually have 12 attacks. I was considering consolidating into them at one point, and I was like, oh, I'm going to consolidate my Blade Guard into these. I was like, they're just like tanks, right? And he's like, no. Gav's saying that it's the Prince that has the 7 dice power.
They both have it.
They both have it. Curse of the Leper, okay. But yeah, the Blight Haulers, if he plays this list and picks to the last, that is a super difficult unit to, like, if he plays this list and picks to the last, you have to kill Mortarion, you have to kill the three Blight Haulers, like you said, which are horrifically difficult to kill, and then you have to also kill one of the Plagueburst Crawlers, which I guess can be deployed out of sight, and even if you get into melee combat with the Plagueburst Crawler, he's got that stratagem that lets shoot his blast weapons in close combat and all sorts. Good evening, Dave. How you doing? And then the Supreme Command detachment, I guess, is Mortarion, Miasma of Pestilence. I believe that's the one that's -1 to hit, right? And see if if he casts that and he gets it off, it's like you said. When I beat this list, I had to throw everything at Mortarion. And, like, I guess Gav tried with his Admech list to throw everything at Mortarion, and Mortarion, I think, survived on, like, 1 or 2 wounds, and it swung the entire game, right? So, yeah, I don't think I...
Yeah, just for the record, Colin smashed Gav. I don't know if Gav...
Shots fired. But yeah, I mean, it was on a knife edge. I think when I killed Mortarion with Null Zone, like it was the same. It was on a knife edge. Like he just died, and if he didn't die, I had 100% lost that game because I had to be so out of position to kill Mortarion early in the game that like I had so much stuff exposed. So if Mortarion had survived, that game was over. I guess. It's an interesting list. It's amazing against my Marines. Like I struggled so much against this list. Everything is so killy. Everything is so difficult to kill. I basically had to like, yeah. I think Death Guard are a really really strong army at the moment. I don't know what else there is to say. I just think like I don't know how a Plagueburst Crawler can be 175 points, right? And like a Predator for the Marines can be 170 points, and it's like the Plagueburst Crawler gets more wounds, more toughness, -1 to damage, it gets better las cannons, it gets indirect fire, you know, it's just ridiculous. I liked his list when he had 3 Plagueburst Crawlers, but I think 3 Mythic Blight Haulers is pretty scary as well. They're basically like attack bikes that you can't kill. Without putting a ton of firepower into them. So yeah. Cool. Happy to move on, or you want to say anything else about Death Guard?
No, I think, yeah, let's go.
Okay. Alright, cool. We'll talk about my Blood Angels list, and we're representing the Blood Angels even though most people don't particularly like Blood Angels at the moment. I still like them. I'm still...
Dave in the chat's a big Blood Angels player, although he's like, he's gone White Scars now, so he's, you know...
Sure. I'm trying to represent and keeping the dream alive. So yeah, we're running a captain on a bike, mainly for the additional toughness. So that my captain's T5 makes him a bit more survivable. Armor Indomitus giving him that 7 wounds and that like ability to turn on his 3-up invulnerable save. And I always like to run the Infernal Pistol and the Thunder Hammer. It just means that I can do a bit of damage with him as well. And Gift of Foresight giving me those free rerolls both on hits, wounds, and saves every turn is pretty nice. Librarian, who's the Chief Librarian, and is the Psychic... I keep wanting to say Psyker Master. It's Psychic Mastery though, but I feel like he's the Master Psyker is what they should have called it. And the main reason to run him is Null Zone. It's hard to... If he runs with a Sanguinary Guard lose nothing if he gets Null Zone off. And Sanguinary Guard with their -4 and -3 swords, -4 swords, -3 axes if we put them in Assault Doctrine, are just it's horrific with the Null Zone. They just chop through everything. So it's very much a counterplay Null Zone. I don't use it every game, but like if someone's got a lot of invulnerable saves, it's definitely something you can use to put some serious hurt. Infiltrators, because I like Phobos units. I think they're versatile. You can score well with them, and also infiltrators have really good survivability and denial range, so I like them as well. We're also running 2 attack bikes, but they are in separate units because I'm not using a priest, so I don't need them to be together. The 7 Sanguinary Guard mostly axes, some swords. I usually put an Infernal Pistol in there. I like just keeping one guy alive with an Infernal Pistol to do some damage. And then Vanguard Vets, mostly Lightning Claws, a Thunder Hammer, and Storm Shields. I keep the Whirlwind in the list, mainly because it can hold objectives, and also Suppression Fire means that I can deny Overwatch, and I can also make enemies fight last. Both if they need to charge me and also if I want to stop counter-offensive, which is pretty useful. We also have a Primaris Chaplain on a bike who is kind of tanky as well. 5 toughness, 8 wounds, and a 6+ shrug. And I take Mantle of Strength so that we can do 3 damage a pop if we need to. And a Tech Marine who is the Master of the Forge, which means he's healing vehicles for 3 wounds every turn, and he is a bolt gun. Blight Veterans, 5-man squad. I like Blight Veterans a lot. They're very survivable with transhuman. They're actually a great unit for using around Oath of Moment. They can hold the middle. They can generally survive against most incoming fire, and their swords are kind of no joke. I guess all the swords for Blood Angels are no joke if you get to turn 3. They're all hitting on -4, so if I manage to get my null zone off, we can just chop through things. We also have the Company Veterans. Give me the bodyguard rule if I need it. Otherwise, same as your Crusaders, they can do actions. They can, they can score primaries or secondaries. I run double Redemptor at the moment. Both Stormbolters, both macros, and both onslaughts. And I guess this is my main fire base. I kind of like it. I think the Redemptors are pretty strong. I think that maybe the Contemptors with those Twin Volkites might be in a better place. I kind of feel like those Twin Volkites and the Contemptors are going to get nerfed at some point. But I like Redemptors. They've got a good number of wounds, and I guess with a Tech Marine, I can basically make one hit on 2s reroll 1s, and the other one reroll everything on hitting on 3s with Chapter Master rerolls. So I get good value out of the Redemptors. The other attack bike that I mentioned, and then it pains me to say this, but I was running this list before with Death Company, and Death Company 5-man with Chainswords is 125 points, and Inceptors 3-man is 120 points, and the Inceptors are just better in every way because the Inceptors, if they arrive in turn 2, you've got -2 already. You don't need to wait to turn 3 to get the -2. They guarantee 18 shots. You don't need to worry about you don't need to worry about failing your charge, right? Because the Inceptors have 18 inches. You can bring them down on an objective and you can hose out units. And they can also perform actions as well, which Death Company can't do. So, Death Company. Oh, and I guess the thing about Inceptors is they're T5 as well. So you're trading a 6+ shrug for an additional toughness. I think, I don't know, on a 10-man on a 5-man unit, a 6+ shrug is going to save you 1 wound. I feel like an extra toughness is going to save you more than that. I suppose unless it's mortal wounds, which is yeah. So I used to like this list with Death Company, but I think just Inceptors are so much more reliable.
Death Company with upping points as well. No, they're right.
They're 125, but for a 5-man, I think they made the Thunderhammers more expensive this edition, but we talk about it a little bit on the Blood Angels channel, in that I think if you want to do Death Company, you need to do 10. Don't fuck around. If you're going to do a 5, there's no point doing a 5-man Death Company. You either do 8 with 3 Thunderhammers or 10 with 3 Thunderhammers, otherwise you just don't bother. Which is sad, because I like Death Company models. So the only thing that I have that looks Death Company is I painted one of my Redemptors in black, because I'm sad that this list has no Death Company in it. So we got a big red X on one of the Redemptors, so he's representing. And it's... You know what? I struggled since Chapter Approved came out to get a competitive Blood Angels list. I lost a lot of games. I think it was 7 games against you and Colin, and I only won 1 of them. But I've won 3 out of the last 4, so I guess I'm feeling... Oh, and the one that I lost to was that new Orc Codex with the snake bite orcs that I didn't really fully understand. So, I don't know. I'm feeling like the list is as good as it's going to get for Blood Angels right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. I always find it tough to beat you regardless, right? You could probably just take basic Marines on extra.
I don't think so. Cool.
No.
All right. So, do you want to look at our first opponents? And we know which team we're playing against, but we obviously don't know whose list. Or are you wanting to just go? Might take a long time to go through all these lists. We should maybe start with
opponents, then we can see how many we can get through, I guess.
Okay. All right. So this is Dave, and I assume this is Dave in the chat. So
yeah.
Okay. Cool. White Scars then. I'll read through this one, you can read through the next one and butt in whenever you want. So we have a Lieutenant in Reaver armor with Rights of War as the Warlord. Haven't seen many Lieutenants in Reaver armor, to be totally honest. I actually don't know if the Reaver armor gets something special. Like I said, I just haven't seen it very much. Does it get like the terror? Yeah, okay, so it gets while enemy units within 3 inches of the model subtract 2 to leadership characteristic. Okay, so it gets the terror aura that the Reavers get. I guess it's better than it used to be, and there's a terror troop stratagem, so I guess you could possibly play this as well. I don't see that very often either. Can remove obsec from enemy units that are within 3 inches. And I guess because he's got Rights of War, he is granting obsec to any units around him. Interesting. Okay, so like he could have a Vanguard Veterans squad. I think I saw that in his list already. He could have Vanguard Veterans deep striking with the Reaver Lieutenant and then removing obsec, and he would obviously be adding obsec. So, and what is the second part of this? You can cancel enemy actions as well, I think. It's quite expensive though, 2 CP, and I think most people probably do actions that complete in their own turn. Not many people do actions that go through into the opponent's phase, but that's interesting, I guess. Okay. Corroso Khan. I guess that'll be a named White Scar character. I'm not super familiar with them. We'll come back to him in a minute. 5 Incursors. 10 Assault Terminators, 6 with Thunder Hammers, and they'll have Storm Shields, and then 4 with double Lightning Claws, and also the Teleport Homer for the 5 points, giving them that option to redeploy. It's basically like the same one that you've got, right, where you can pick them up and put them down in the following turn. Yeah, I haven't managed to find so much use for that myself, but I mean, it's a 10-man Terminator squad. You're never going to kill all 10 in a single turn, so there may be a play here where if he's in a tough position, you can just remove them from the board and bring them back. We then have 10 Vanguard Veterans, all Lightning Claw and Storm Shield, and another 10, all Lightning Claw and Storm Shield. These would be prime for some Null Zone action, that's for sure. Blade Guard Veterans, it's a 4-man. 2 Relic Contemptors with the Twin Volkite Coverings, so obviously the potential to spit out some mortal wounds here. They don't do so well against high toughness enemies, so they might struggle. This might struggle a little bit against Death Guard, but obviously the mortal wounds will go straight through because Death Guard don't have much protection against that. 2 Landspeeder Storms. The Chief Apothecary, who is the Selfless Healer, so he's able to revive them. I have no idea what the planes of the Plume of the Plains Runner does, and 2 Company Veterans, 2 Lightning Claw Storm Shields. So we know what veterans do. Let's see what Plains of the Plume Runner does. Is it even going to be in here? Possibly not. White Scars are still using their codex from last edition, are they?
I think so, aye.
They don't have one yet.
It's all the same as like the Ultramarine supplement, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think then it might be in here in the 8th edition section. But I guess the main thing of the chapter tactic for the White Scars is they can advance and charge, which makes these Vanguard Veterans like crazy mobile, right? So like they can move 12, they could advance 6 potentially, and then they can charge. So I guess you're talking like probably like a reliable 25-26 inch threat range. Plume of the Plains Runner lets you go faster. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Maybe I'll just search white scars and then... This website's usually pretty good for finding stuff. There it is. Oh, and it's gone for now. So
Chris is saying +1 advance, +1 charge.
okay, all right. So basically, it gives them the chapter tactic of Space Marines. Okay, so the Apothecary doesn't have a jump pack or anything like that, but I guess that'll mean that Blade Guards or Terminators or anything that are with him could probably move pretty quickly. It's a pretty infantry-heavy list. A couple of land speeders, I guess, to do some niggle damage, chip damage potentially, and then the 2 Contemptors. And yeah, those Contemptors I find are quite swingy. Sometimes they can do amazing. Yeah, Gav used some against me actually and just destroyed me with some good rolls. But you do need 6s for the mortals, so it is what it is. White Scars also get I just realised now I don't have my Space Marine Codex in front of me. Don't White Scars get something like they get +1 to their damage for... Is it just +1 to all their melee damage? Let me grab my Codex, one sec. Maybe I'm mistaken. Alright, so they can fire assault weapons in the same turn they advanced, and they can declare a charge in any turn when they advanced or fell back. So I guess they can fall back and charge, but I mean that might, if it takes Oath of the Moment, that might mess that up. +1 damage on the charge. That's what it is. Okay, so their Lightning Claws are potentially 2 damage on the charge. Appreciate that, Ben. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's going to be tough to counter. You're going to have to be very, very good with your positioning, I guess. And yeah, people are saying in the chat the Landspeeder Storms are just going to fly in and try and lock you in combat.
Is that the really basic land speeders though? I mean, they're only 55 points.
Yeah, I think they're just of them. They're the ones that the scouts used to ride on, right? Or you can I think use the ones you could put the scouts into, right? Yeah, so it's got a heavy bolter and a D6 blast, strength 4 for 0 AP. So like it's not going to do a whole lot of damage. It can carry scouts, but there's no scouts in the list. But I guess the plan seems to be like they're kind of a distraction, but I mean if they do manage to lock one of your units in combat, then things will be following up pretty nastily, right? So it's a tough one, right? You want to take out the storms quickly, but also you can't ignore those dreadnoughts because the dreadnoughts will just shit out mortal wounds every turn. The actual number of mortal wounds those dreadnoughts do isn't that great. Like, it's supposed to be, you get 16 shots if you got 2 Volkite Caverns, right? You only hit on 3s, so you would imagine about 11 hits. You only get 6s, 1 in 6 chance. So technically, those Volkite Caverns should only do 1.8 mortal wounds a turn when they fire. In practice, that's never the case. They always do like 3 or 4. When I was playing against Gav, they were doing like 5 every turn. Gav's gonna shit on me in the chat now, but honestly, like he was shooting these Volkites and it was just like 5 mortal wounds. I was like, oh my god, Gav, like could you be rolling any better?
They're in addition to the damage as well, and although they're no AP, although as Marines as heavy, they're -1. They're 2 damage each, so, and I think they're like minus. No, I'm thinking of the Derrideo. The Derrideo's like got the crazy version of them with like.
Yeah, the Derrideo doesn't have enough shots though to make it valuable. I mean, when we did the tier list last week, we put, or maybe a few weeks ago, we put the Relic Contemptor in tier S. I think it is the best Forge Road unit you can have at the moment for a Marine army. If there's any lists that are running 3 of these, they're going to be real nasty. I mean, 2's pretty nasty. But if it's 3 and you get good rolls and you're spitting out 15 mortal wounds in addition to your damage, it's crazy. Okay. Yeah, so it's going to be a very, very fast list, a very durable core with the Blade Guard and the Terminators. The ability to maybe mess up your OBSEC here as well.
Yeah, the Apothecary's just going to like babysit the Terminators, isn't he? And just bring them back, I guess. They're going to be really tough to move.
It's probably going to start with the Blade Guard, I guess, and then, yeah. And he has the Selfless Healer, so he's going to be rezzing 1 for free every turn. So I guess, like, ignore the Blade Guard at your peril, but because he's going to res them, but if you don't ignore them, it's a tough one. Yeah, okay. DTM saying in chat that the Dreadnoughts do about 2 mortal wounds per turn. Well, if they only did 2 mortal wounds per turn, that'd be pretty good. In my experience, they do a lot more. Yeah, I've never seen those things just do 2 mortal wounds. I play against Andrew and Gav. Like, these guys have dice that are honestly weighted on 6s.
I keep telling you they're dogs. No one listens. I just keep using them. So.
Yeah, they either do 5 each turn or 0. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, they never do the 2, or they never do the average number of mortal wounds that they're supposed to, it seems like. Okay. Yeah, it's the same when you use that Blessed Bolts. When you use Blessed Bolts, you either do 6 mortal wounds or you do 0. There's like no in between, it seems like.
Yeah, totally.
Because sometimes you do it and you just know 6s, and other times you do it and it's like 5 6s and it's capped at. Did we ever find out the actual ruling on that, if you've got a shrug against mortal wounds?
How do you mean if you got a shrug against mortal wounds?
Because the wording on that one was like super janky, where it said the maximum number of mortal wounds that it can inflict was 6, but if you got a shrug against mortal wounds, do you remember this?
Oh, right, yeah. So like if it could do more potentially if you shrug them off, sort of thing.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that happens after that stage, though. So I don't think it could do more.
You don't? Okay. Yeah, I mean, the wording on the stratagem was just really poorly written. It sounded like if I shrugged 2 or 3 then and you had another 6, it could potentially still do 6 mortal wounds. Okay, let's move on to Thousand Suns then.
Okay.
Heretic.
I've been pulling stuff up while you've been talking on this.
What about Thousand Suns?
Yeah, and I'll start off going through the Nurgle stuff part, the Nurgle part of it.
Okay.
So just by the way, Innis has got no prisoners of 176, so that's like 17 points for no prisoners potentially.
Oh, that's the most I've ever seen. Okay.
Yeah.
Why does he get so many points for it? Oh, because of individual wounds on the beast in Nurgle, basically.
Yeah, he's just got a ton of crap, basically.
Okay.
So we'll start off. So we've got starting off with the Nurgle, we've got the Locus of Virulence. So that's every time you can wound roll 6+ for a Nurgle demon unit within 6 inches of any friendly model with a Locus of Virulence, it does an extra 1 damage. So that's a pretty good buff for them all, right? And then you've got Epidemius. So Colin runs him as well, and basically that buffs all the Nurgle units. He's like the old school Nurgle though, so he's still got like the 5+ feeling the pain. He doesn't get the -1 damage, but you know, he like when it tallies it, when like the Nurgle stuff's killed 2 units, its reroll hit rolls for 1 for all friendly Nurgle demons, like not a range, just across the board. Then it's moved by 1, strength by 1, toughness by 1, and attacks by 1. And the 7 or more is kind of irrelevant because of the like they don't have the disgusting resilient ability anymore.
Okay.
So, you know, like I mean it affects him and I think maybe Slimux, but I'm not sure. So Great Unclean One just is the same, just absorbs a ton of stuff. Miasma Pestilence, -1 to hit. He's just a sponge for bullets.
Fleshy Abundance does what again?
I think it's...
So that's like a heal, is it, right? I feel like...
I can't remember. Yeah, is it like B3 heal? Let me check.
I feel like this is when Colin needs to. Colin said that he couldn't come because he hadn't on any clothes, so I did tell him to throw on a t-shirt and come.
I'm naked, partly, so it's fine. Ed Fanifest, select the friendly Nurgle demon unit within 18 inches. Yeah, regains D3 lost wounds.
Okay, right. So you can heal himself if he needs to.
Oh, Innocent, all this stuff has the old Death Guard rules. Nice. So 3 squads of Beasts of Nurgle, like Colin's played them before. They're just, I think they've got like 4 wounds each, so just like an artist shit.
T5, I think, and like a 4+ save or something, right?
Yeah, I mean they're not bad in combat either. I mean they're like 4 up, but they've got that kind of like D3 roll at the start. It gives them a buff. Which is pretty nice. Got the Furies. They're like speedy flyer things, like 12-inch movement, weapons of 4. Nurgle got alright, so they've got disgusting resilient too. So yeah, they're only 1 wound each, but they've got the 5 up feel no pain. So I guess they're there just to be a pain in the arse. They are infantry though, so I guess they can do actions. They're not like beasts or anything.
They're probably obsec, to be honest.
No, they're fast attack.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess they're just going to be like going around trying to do actions, I guess, or just be a pain in the arse. I mean, it's 2 squads of 5. I don't know if there's an ability to deep strike them. I'd assume not, being Nurgle. Slimax is... I'm not quite sure what he's there for. Start turn. If any models friend or slain the last turn, 1 Nurgle demon within 7 inches regains. Alright, so it can heal Nurgle demons. You can reroll failed charge rolls for friendly beasts of Nurgle. Okay, that's quite within 6. Add 1 to the hit rolls made for units of beasts of Nurgle that are within 12. Alright, so he's making the beasts of Nurgle hit on 3s instead of 4s, which is pretty good. Because when they do hit, they do a lot. Plowed Slime Chill, roll a d6 for each enemy unit that falls back within 1 inch of him on a 4 up, suffers d3 mortal wounds. Alright, so if he's in combat with the Nurgle, you're not going to like be able to fall back because he's going to like kill you with mortals. Okay. End your movement phase, you can add a new normal to your army containing 1 feculent normal set up within 3 inch. Move 1 of your models. Okay. I think, is that a feculent normal? Is that tree thing?
That's what I thought it was, yeah.
Yeah. I guess you'd have to have that on your list.
You'd have to have the points though, yeah.
Yeah. Hey Jeff, how you doing? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Nurglings are Nurglings. Again, just hard to shift. They've got the 5 up. Steel Rain, so it's just a mess of Nurgle chaff. Yeah, it seems that way.
I was going to say, it's quite a lot of points of Nurgle stuff, like 40 plus, 280 plus 245,
1,600 points of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's actually I guess I read the first line and thought, 1,000 Suns list. It's not a Nurgle list with a smattering of 1,000 Suns, right?
Yeah, with 2 casters, I guess.
So 1,000 Suns. We've got Araman. I've brought the powers up just to kind of see what they do.
Araman just shits out mortal wounds, and I guess his Exhausted Sorcerer is going to do the same. Doombolt is like just a flat 3 mortal wounds, I believe.
We've got Firestorm, 18 inches, roll 9 dice, and then every 6 is a mortal wound.
Yep.
Gaze of Hate is... Gaze of Fate or Gaze of Hate?
Hate.
Gaze. I'm only seeing Gaze of Fate as a Tanzini power, unless...
You looking at 9th or 8th?
I'm just looking at the psychic power for Zinch.
Might be a relic. Oh, it doesn't have all the new stuff yet. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they don't update it. But I mean, I just played Gav using Araman and an Exalted Sorcerer. Did you play that list that Gav had?
Yeah, I got destroyed by it.
I think Gav did like 17 more. I mean, he had a lot more stuff. He had a lot more Thousand Suns things, but I think he did 17 mortal wounds to me in his psychic phase in turn 1. Which is pretty rough. I guess there's probably just like Sisters have a decent ability to deny, in that you can deny in everything that is with any unit within 24. You can have a chance to deny, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of denies, I guess. Yeah, I have 2 denies. I guess Colin has probably more. I think Mortarion can deny 3. So, yeah, I mean, it's just going to be quite a bit of mortal wound damage, I would guess.
Yeah, you've got Baleful Devolution, range 18, targets a unit visible to the Psyker that has 6+ models, roll d6, equal to the roll d6 equal to the result of the psychic test. So if you get like a 10 on the psychic test, you're rolling 10 dice, and then you do d3 mortal wounds for each 6 rolled.
Yeah, and then I think Temporal Surge, correct me if I'm wrong, is the one that lets you get a second move. I guess it doesn't have it either, or is that something else?
I think that's like the warp time for.
Oh, warp time, yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah. Do you know what? The Thousand Sun Codex is on the meeting room table in the office. We can have a quick look at it tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, Thousand Sun's powers, if you can deny them, you generally want to deny them. The fact he's got 3 there as well, I mean, it's going to give him... You assassinate 16, aboard the Witch 11. That's kind of interesting. No prisoners, 176, so there is some good secondaries you can pick against this. And...
Oh yeah, because the Rubric Marines get a caster built in as well, don't they?
Yeah, they've got the sorcerer in there as well. Yeah, Araman can reroll all psychic tests as well. He just has that like built into his.
He gets a +1 as well, right?
And I guess they get those Cabal points as well, so they can add extra mortal wounds and stuff.
Yeah, when I played Gav, I thought the Cabal points were like expended, but no, you get them every time.
Do you still get the Cabal points if you have a detachment of Nurgle as well, or is that like, did you have to be... I don't know the ruling on Cabal points. Like, is it a bit like the Marines, you can't take another detachment or you'd lose? Like, is it like their Super Doctrine, for example? I don't know. But okay, yeah, I mean, it's a tough call. I guess you're going to have to either focus, I guess, on making sure you don't get eaten alive by all the beasts of Nurgling and the Great Unclean One, and if you do that, then you're going to be leaving the Psykers kind of free powers.
He doesn't have Cabal points. That means his range will be limited. Like, that was one of the kind of weaknesses of Thousand Suns. When Gav was talking about it, like, they're 18-inch range on damages. So, and as soon as they're within 18, they're within deny range, and they're within, a range of everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. What's also true is that, like, my army needs to be within 1 inch to really be effective against you. So, I wouldn't pick no prisoners, it's too much to kill. Yeah, no prisoners is maybe too much to kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You know what, as well, for grind them down, it's actually not that many. I guess that's number of kill points as well, is it? That's what that is. So just 14. Yeah, it's an interesting list. I don't... Do you know what? When I played Gav, he did have Beasts of Nurgle. He just had a lot more psychic stuff. So it's going to be tough. Like, the beasts are like you said, they're horrific if they get into range, and they've got those random powers. So you never quite know what they're going to do.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. And so then look up Reverberating Summons. If a Great Unclean One with Doomsday Bell attempts to summon a Nurgle demons to the battlefield using a demonic ritual, you can roll 3 dice. Okay, so it's not summoning. So it's the second part. In addition, at the start of each of your turns, you may roll a d6 for each Nurgle demon unit within 7 inches of any friendly Great Unclean Ones with a Doomsday Bell. On a 4+, a single slain model is returned to that unit. Okay, so it can bring back.
You'll be bringing back a lot of things. How does
Is that per interesting charge? You may roll a d6 for each Nurgle demon unit within. Wow. Okay. So it's so that's every unit you're rolling a d6, and a 4 you bring a model back.
Yeah, how does that work with no prisoners then? Like, because when you're killing Necrons.
Yeah, you're getting the points you're getting the kills every time.
Yeah, so if they bring 2 or 3 beasts back, you can get the points again if you kill the beast again.
Yeah, totally.
So you have to make sure you're not splitting fire, I guess. Splitting fire is generally bad anyway, you know.
It's gonna be have to like take out full units, or he's just gonna like bring back the beast.
Quite a lot of full unit, quite a lot of beasts there as well. It's not small squads.
Yeah, they've got if they are the old school, which I think Innes was saying, they've got the 5+ Feel No Pain as well, which is kind of, although they don't have the damage mitigation.
Still, they're T5, right?
T5, 5 wounds. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not.
I think, all right, they don't have a save, but I think I can't remember if he's got the power. Gav had a power that gives them like a 4+ invuln.
Oh yeah, he has a power you can give a single unit a 4+ invuln as well, can't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Vince actually got that on his list. But yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, tough list, I guess. Kill the entire units of beasts of Nurgle.
Just kill it all.
Yeah, kill it all. Easier said than done, right? And then try and look for an opportunity to take out the Great Unclean One.
These things got a strat that gives them a 4+ Feel No Pain. Yeah, and at 5 wounds each, a squad of 8 is going to put 40 wounds with a 4+ Feel No Pain. That's 60 wounds. That's a lot.
Yeah, you're going to have to you have to have a lot of firepower to remove those beasts in Nurgle.
They don't have a demon save though, do they? Or do they? Am I imagining that? Yeah, they do. They've got a 5+ invuln as well. Nice.
Because they're demonic, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, I'll go against someone else that isn't in it, so that's fine.
Yeah, they having how many is that? 14, 22. Having 22 of them reminds me of when I had played against your list that had, what was it, like 18 penitent engines. Because they're pretty much the same, right? Like the penitent engines are 5 wounds, 5 toughness, 5+ Feel No Pain, and then the only difference is, well, these guys have got a 5+ invuln, the penitent engines have a 4+. I mean, same. Yeah, so it's the same thing. It's probably, how many is just penitent engines again? How many points?
I want to say 55.
Yeah, because you had like 17 of them. Was it 17 or was it 18?
I think it was 18 of them, yeah.
18 times 55.
There's some mortifiers in there as well, but they're like 5 points more.
Yeah. Okay, 990 points. So these are a little cheaper. I mean, they don't have the horrific buzz blades that the penitent engines have and all the flamers. So when I played that, I did kill all of them. So I guess it's doable. But you're going to have to be very precise with your not splitting fire. That's going to be the tricky part. Because with that many Feel No Pains and the invuln saves, yeah, you're gonna lose shots. Because you're either going to lose shots or you're going to leave models alive to resurrect, which is a tricky part, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool. I think, are you happy to move on, or you want to say anything else about this list?
Yeah, no, let's go.
Okay. Simon Poison Fitzpatrick. Dukari. Oh, lovely.
Another army we know nothing about.
I know a little bit. Okay. So Cabal of the Black Heart, yeah, I don't know what that is. And Thirst for Power, I don't know what that is either. But I believe when I glanced at this list before, it had a lot of raiders, which did go up from 85 points to 95 points. I don't know if that's enough of a change, but anyway, let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 raiders here. 5 raiders.
Dark Lance is like a las cannon, right? If I remember rightly.
It's the D3 plus 3. I don't remember if it's strength 8 or 9. If it's strength 9, that's pretty rough. I'm hoping it's strength 8, but I guess we'll see.
Strength 8 minus 4, D3 plus 3. It's heavy, but then it's not a vehicle, doesn't matter. 36 inch range.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's basically a rhino that is more survivable than a rhino with a las cannon on it and less points. I mean, yes, it's got slightly less toughness, but it's got an invulnerable save, right? Yeah, but its invulnerable save is only against range attacks, but you kind of need to kill it with range because it's going to be full of witches or the like, and I definitely saw that there was witches in this list. Multiple squads of them, I think.
One thing you got to really watch for them as well is like usually, like I've had it before where they're full of obsec units. I think it was a tournament down south. I was at, and basically, so they've got like one transport on there, and maybe you got like 2 of your units, and neither of them are obsec. If you then pop that, you're like pumping out a load of obsec units onto the objective.
Yeah,
and it blew up, which is horrific.
So this list is going to be very, very difficult to deal with, I guess, because if the raiders are probably going to be full of the troops, right? And like the raiders are generally going to be very difficult to kill because the 5+, it'll be easy enough to hit them and wound them, but the 5+ invulnerable save is gonna mean that like it's gonna make it hard to reliably know what you're killing on any given turn. Excuse me. And yeah, like if you start killing the raiders and those things can pop out and then they can charge you, it's going to mess up your entire world. I do not know enough about all these different units, but I did look at witches and previously because people were asking me on my channel like how would I deal with witches, and they do like more damage than Sanguinary Guard, and they're like no points. Yeah, 10 points per model, I guess. 4 attack space. How's he got them armed? One's got the Shard Net and Impaler, and one's got a Hecatrix. Shard Net and Impaler means that each time the bearer fights, makes an additional 1 attack. And Hecatrix, I'm not even seeing it. No, maybe this isn't even updated either, is it?
I'm finding some of it like the Incubi. That's the Club X.
But like a small squad of what's this? Like 110 points. You're gonna get like 8 3s plus 4, like 27 odd attacks plus additional attacks, and they're all armed with these blades, which are -1/1 damage, and they make 1 additional attack. Okay, yeah, so the 8-man squad is going to get like 35 attacks, hitting on 3s. Sure, it's at user strength, but still -1, so it's a boatload of attacks. They will, they'll shred sisters, I guess, because you're toughness 3. They'll do pretty good against me. I'm not so sure how they'll do against Death Guard. The Hecatrix is the Sergeant. Oh, thank you. It's a different model. Okay. Oh, and it's the one that gets 1 extra attack. Okay, thank you. Flamers deal with witches. Yeah, I don't actually have any flamers on my list. Colin's Fleshmores would do pretty nice against them. Yeah, because I mean,
a lot of the stuff's all like, all this is very low point value, but a lot of it, right? But
And
or the point value, that's the problem, I guess.
yeah, the -1 toughness from the Death Guard list, like our Death Guard player could have a nice game against this, I guess. Like, because he'll just, the thing about Colin's Death Guard list is everything's a plague weapon, so all his wound rolls are basically, even against Marines, most of the time his wound rolls are 2s, re-rolling 1s. So against this list, it's going to be pretty much the same. It's going to be all wounding on 2s, re-rolling 1s against all the infantry. And there is quite a lot of infantry, like you said. You've got Incubi, you've got Blight Warriors. I think they're the heavier ones, right? And yeah, I mean, we really need to get someone playing Dark Elder in our meta. I think that should be the army that we get next. Or maybe, sorry, is it the Hellions that are the heavier ones?
Yeah, the Hellions. The Incubi are the kind of heavier Cabalites, I think, and the Hellions are like the flying ones.
Okay. Yeah, so if I play against this, I'll be struggling. I'll be struggling to pop the transports with ranged attacks, and then even if I do, I will take so much damage from those models coming out of them. What drugs do the witches have? They've got a drug that gives them +1 strength. Grave Lotus. And what's going to be good to score against this? I mean, Bring It Down is horrific, even though he's got 5 transports. Assassination, 10 points. No Prisoners, 111 points. It's going to be a tough one to pick secondaries, I guess, as well.
Yeah, it's not really giving anything up there, is it?
No, certainly not.
So you're going to be relying on like your positional ones, like All Fronts or Rod or...
Yeah, your stratagem that lets you get those maximum shots with your Flamers is going to be pretty nice against this. If you find a juicy target, you could flame away a whole unit pretty easily. You might not even need the maximum shots, to be honest.
Yeah, then his stupid transports are going to kill
them. Sure, but also the mortal wounds that you get from your Stormbolters and...
Yeah, there's just a lot of it, and he's got a lot of, I mean, each Raider's got a Dark Lance. That's, each of them are min 4 damage, which is pretty bad. I'm
trying to think, like, when you play with Morgan Val and you use the Sacrosancts to protect her, Morgan Val will pretty much kill a Raider each turn, right? With her hits and rerolls. So you could position Morgan Val in the open, have the Sacrosancts, in a position where they cannot be shot. She's obviously bodyguard, and each turn just use her to pop a Raider. And then follow that up with, like, the Stormbolters will be pretty good against them. Especially if you're doing mortal wounds, the Flamers will be good against them. Especially if you're... Do you still have a strat that lets the Flamer do mortal wounds as well, or it's just maximum shots?
No, that's just Ebon Chalice, and it doesn't work on Penitents anyway. So.
Oh yeah, you can't use them on the Penitents. Yeah. And I guess your Power Swords with full rerolls will be good as well. This is where the Retributors, the Dom, the Rhinos can come into play. And the Repentia as well. Fighting on death could be very useful here too. How does is the Repentia fight on death stratagem, is that the same as like a Space Marine character? You can only use that if they've not already fought, or is it they can just fight on death even if they've already fought?
I'm pretty sure it's if they've not fought.
If it's not fought, okay.
But if they've fought, there's not going to be anything there anyway, generally.
I suppose that's true. Repentia generally delete what they're in combat with. The Repentia caused me to drop the Centurions out of my list when you killed my whole squad of Centurions with like 3 of them. I was like, great. Yeah. Cool. Okay. I think this list. I think this would be the toughest list that I would have to fight against. I'm not equipped to open up a bunch of different transports.
Mm-hmm.
I think the two of you guys do fine against it, though.
Yeah, I mean, my weakness here is I don't know them that well. I mean, basically because I haven't played against them in the new codex, so that's a.
Yeah, we have tried. We've asked James on the channel a few times, but I guess he's just been busy or whatnot. So maybe in the next. I mean, we were asking Gav for ages, and he's finally just started playing again. So some people are probably just being a bit more cautious because of COVID and stuff. It's understood, right?
Mm. Who do you fancy doing next?
I have no idea who we're doing next. I've probably got time to do like at least one more set of 3, and then we'll see what the time is.
Sure.
Who do you know any of these teams then?
Let's see.
2 sisters, 1 chalice.
Well, who does the chat want us to look over?
Yeah, why don't we do what chat wants?
Get those wrong with. I mean, the Falkirk Fisters is quite.
All the names. I mean, I guess we can't talk. We are crackheads, apparently. The first person to type a team name into chat will be the one that we do. Do hold my beer. Good, Bad, Bruce, and Rolling for Soup have the most interesting lists. Alright, so we've got Good, the Bad, the Bruce, we've got Hold My Beer, and we've got Rolling for Soup. We could try... Why don't we start with Good, Bad, and Bruce, and we'll try and go quickly.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so this is an orc list, and no prisoners 25. I'm guessing this is just all vehicles, bring it down 19. Alright, Big Mech with custom force field, Mechatrack Scrapjets, Mechatrack Scrapjets, Mechatrack Scrapjets, Ruckatuck Squig Buggies, Ruckatuck Squig Buggies, Ruckatuck Squig Buggies. I think someone bought too many of those fast attack boxes of orcs and he's just decided that's his army now.
You got started, John.
And then Death Killer War Trikes, Commandos, Stormboys. Does this list have any OBSEC? No. Okay, interesting. I mean, I don't take too much OBSEC myself, but no OBSEC at all. Okay.
The Squig Buggies, they're the artillery ones, right? That Brett was using.
I think they were the one that Brett was using. Let me put in the mecha.
Yeah. They've got the heavy squig launcher and the squig launcher, so they're like, yeah. Is that squads? Oh, that squad's of 3. I mean, Brett only had 1 now.
Yeah, so squads of 3. They do only hit on 5s, but I feel like they get a good number of shots. But yeah, that's always the thing with orc shooting is like.
No, they. Oh, do they? I thought.
Yeah, they hit on 5s. I think they have one weapon that gets +1 to hit, right? The Grot Gunner.
Yeah.
So the squig launcher. The indirect fire gets +1 to hit. Death Skulls gives all infantry OBSEC. Alright, so okay, so all his commandos and his Stormboys are OBSEC. Okay, so he's got some OBSEC, right? And what does Blood Axe do? I was going to say these Mecha Trucks Scrapjets are ramshackle, aren't they? So that if you're not hitting them with T8 or more, they're -1 to damage.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I guess you have to watch out for the WAG as well. I imagine most of these things are pretty good in combat. Yeah, I mean the Scrapjets are.
Yeah, each time the model makes an attack with a heavy squig launcher, add 1 to the attack's hit roll.
Yeah.
And the heavy squig launcher is what? Assault 2d6, strength 5, -2, 2. And it's got 3 of them. So that's assault 6d6. So it's 6, 12, so it's 18 shots on average. It's strength 5, -2, 2, and it's in direct fire.
Yeah.
Sure, it's it's hit on 4s, but still, and then it's got the other squig launcher, which is the same profile but D6 shots. So it's another 3d6 shots, another 9. It's only 18-inch range though. So, but I mean, still, like, because of the table sizes are smaller. Oh, Dave says this is Manny's list.
Yeah, and obviously it can shoot its shotgun and stuff, even if it shoots its other.
Yeah, and it can fire. It can shoot with a grenade and pistol weapons in addition to other weapon types.
Yeah.
So it can throw stick bombs as well.
Stick bombs are generally not that scary, I guess.
Hey, you're not a sisters player. That's like wounded on 4s.
I suppose, yeah, okay. All right, yeah, I forget that you guys have to deal with wounding.
Or weak and feeble.
And
it can shoot.
Yeah, this was a shitload of squads though, right?
Yeah, there's like 3, 3, and 2. But actually, the obsec on the Storm Boys is pretty solid, right? Because I'm assuming they're like 12-inch movement, and we don't like throw. If you move and advance them, that's what, like 15 inches on average. Yeah. Oh, and they can go full throttle. Add 6 inches to movement characteristic on a 4-up. On a 4-up, they suffer 1 mortal wound, so that's nothing. They've got. I mean, you could just tick that on the boss knob and not lose a model as well. Yeah, so you're going to be moving them. They can just like jump 18 inches and grab an objective and obsec it.
Yeah, I mean I'm just looking back at this heavy squig launcher. So he's basically going to get 16d6.
And this is saying fall back and shoot. Is that for the?
That'll be for the blood one that I mentioned. I think blood axe, is it? Is that what that is?
Does that mean squig buggies can fall back and shoot indirect? Because if so, that's pretty horrendous. Do you see that as well? You can use the squig mines to put out mortal wounds as well. If unit has any squig mines remaining, unit can release one, and then on it's like one enemy vehicle unit within 6 inches, and then on 3 to 5 it does D3. On a 6 it does D6 mortal wounds.
They're saying in chat, against this army you have to put mostly into reserve, otherwise he tables you in turn 2. It does seem quite absurd. 16d6. I just want to actually do that, so it'd be 16 times 3.5. So 56 shots hitting on 4s. 28 hits. 28 minus 2 damage, and then I guess he's just wounding. He's strength 5, so against like Marines and Sisters and that, they're wounding on 3s. So you're taking 18 shots at 2 damage. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, I mean, against this list, I would be starting my Sanguinary Guard and probably my Vanguard Veterans off the board. It's too much to risk.
Yeah. And then, yeah, they can. That's crazy. The squig buggies can advance and do that as well. So they're going to get within that 18-inch range pretty easy, probably. All right, it's -1 to hit, but that means they're hitting on 5s with the big one and 4 and 6s with the smaller one.
I don't think they'll have that much trouble at 36 though, because I have a lot. Like, I use my Redemptors at 36 inches, and like most of the time they're on the new boards. I'd say 99% of it. It's very rare that my Redemptors out of range, right, with the plasma cannon. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, that weapon seems super strong for indirect. Like, that's. I mean, I know the Plague Burst Crawler is like strength 8, but it's only D6 shots and.
Yeah, it's when you put the weight of fire, I guess, onto them. Do you have anything like a smoke screen or anything you can pop against that?
Yeah, you can stick it on my Rhino, but I mean, 5 shots get through, it's gone, and I'm only getting a 5-up save against it.
Yeah.
Which is, that's going to rip it apart. And the Ramshackle as well.
What, the buggies are ramshackle as well, are they?
And 9 wounds each. So they're basically dreadnoughts. They're like duty eternaled unless you're hitting them with like high power weapons. So yeah.
That'll be a fun list.
He's probably got some way to bring them back as well with an orc medic. No. But I guess once you drop them, you drop them. You know, like, there's no.
It's just a lot to kill. 9 wounds each.
Yeah, and they're spraying out such heavy damage. Are they kind of seen as broken then? Is that like, were they in that pack that came out? What was it? The the orc pack that everyone like bought.
Talking about snake bites.
Yeah, but were the buggies not part of that, or am I making that up? I know Brett's got one.
Don't think the buggies were part of that snakebite release. Not 100% sure though, but yeah, that's going to be a rough list to play against.
They're £25 each. I mean, that's not expensive.
Colin's list would do best against this. -1 damage on all that. There's a 50% damage nerf if you think about it. And pretty much, I was going to say, most of Colin's list has a 5-up invulnerable save.
Chris says he can't res them, it just feels that way.
Yeah. I mean, if Mortarion is going to be key to, like, they're not going to do shit against Mortarion, are they?
No.
Like, it doesn't matter that you have, what did we say? Like, Mortarion is just kind of stupid as well, I guess. Like, 16 times 3.5 would be how many shots you would get out of the big cannons, right? 16 times 3.5. And then you only hit on 4s, but Mortarion can make you -1 to hit, so let's say Mortarion doesn't get the power off, it's 28 hits. If he gets the power off, it's already down at 20. You're only going to wound Mortarion because he's T8 on 5s.
I've seen the mega tracks are 3 damage. I'm assuming that's the rocket cannons. I'm assuming they'll be the same. Yeah, they're the same as.
Yeah, so he does 10 through to Mortarion. Mortarion saves on 5s. He takes 5. Mortarion feels no pains on 5s. So like, all of those buggies, all like 8 of them shoot Mortarion. They do 3 wounds to him. If he makes them -1 to hit, they probably do 2 wounds to him. So yeah, I mean, if we play this guy and we can set it up, let's have Colin play against this list because his -1 damage hurts this a lot.
Yeah, I was just looking at the planes. So the planes have got 3 rocket cannons. So their strength, they're heavy 3d3. So that's 2 shots. 3d3. That's. Jeez, yeah. All right. So each rocket cannon is an average 6 shots. It's got 3 of them. So that's 18 shots to the rocket cannon, unless I'm wrong here.
Yeah, but they just have BS of 5+, right? Or can they improve that as well?
They've got 5+, but yeah, their strength 8, -2, 3.
Yeah.
And their blast as well. Then you got the big shooters, which are just strength 5, no AP. But the wing missiles, so each squad's got 3 wing missiles, so that's 3 shots, strength 8, -2, 3, but they're +1 to hit against vehicles. So they're hitting vehicles and 4s.
Yeah, Brett used that against me.
But actually, the twin big shooters do a lot of work, and it's got 6 of them. Sorry, like
each squad has 6, yeah.
Yeah, two for each plane, I guess.
Yeah, and half range they do 10 shots, right?
Yeah.
So
each,
yeah.
Well, each plane's doing 20 shots because it's got 2 twin.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Tough orc list. If we get it, I really want Colin to play against it. I think it's our best shot of getting the win.
Yeah. I think your fly's come to visit me, John. It's like in front of my monitor now.
There's a fly in your room now as well. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's one of those little fruit flies.
Yeah. No, mine was like a full-on big fly that was in here earlier. All right, let's look up at Grey Knights next. Oh, geez, I'm going to know nothing about Grey Knights. I haven't even looked at the new codex.
Me neither.
Great. Okay, so if we play against Grey Knights, all we know is that they have a lot of psychic stuff, and they're good at denying psychic stuff. I think that's the thing that they're strong at, right?
Grey. They're grey, and they're knights. That's my tactical feedback.
All right, well, I know some of this stuff. I know Interceptors. More Interceptors. The Dread Knight is basically their Dreadnought, right?
Yeah, I looked up the Dread Knight before. I mean, Colin's got 3 of them now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They look pretty mean.
This list's got a bunch of them. 3 as well, and then a Grandmaster Dread Knight.
There's
I was going to say, Wikipedia is probably not updated, is it?
Yeah, it's got it. Unless it's the old one, but I don't think it is. Gatling Silencer. Yeah, this looks right. 12 shots, 5, -1/1. Heavy Psycon. I think that was the one that looked pretty solid when I looked at it. Yeah, 24-inch range, heavy 6, 8 -2/2. And then it's a Psyker as well, of course. So, I mean, I guess like Abhor the Witch is going to be pretty strong against this. Yeah, 25 points you can get from Abhor the Witch.
Okay, similar to yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to take. I mean, only you can take that out of the 3 of us, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the rest of us have Psychers. 6 Dread Knights in total.
I think, are they not vehicles?
Dread Knight, I would imagine they'd be a vehicle.
Yeah, they've got like 30 moons each, so I'm just thinking the...
yeah, they're vehicles.
Is Bring It Down not worth more against them, then? Or is the Grandmaster Dread Knight less wounds or something?
Well, if he's just got 6 of them, then that would make sense, right? Oh no, that would be 12 for Bring It Down.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, this is a typo. Is Innis still there? I think that's a typo.
Yeah, that'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah. Yeah, it should be 12 points for Bring It Down. So Bring It Down... Oh, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, Bring It Down looks like a solid choice combined with Abhor the Witch there, actually. And then you've got it focused on his Dread Knights. Yeah,
and I mean, this Grey Knight player gets his arse spanked for trying to put his points in wrong before the tournament starts as well.
I mean, that's just cheating, isn't it?
That's just dirty.
Card right away.
Yeah, who's this guy? I'll keep an eye out for him.
Steve. Don't double check ours. Ours are probably wrong.
Well, we'll all wear t-shirts that say Steve. Steve's a cheat. Okay.
Is that like, oh, you Steve the cheat?
Okay. Someone's saying Sister's 5+ secret right to shut him down hard. I
don't think I can actually change it. Innes will maybe correct me, but I think once it's in the... I mean, you pick it at the start of the battle, but I'm not sure if we're actually allowed to change that at the start of the battle. I'm sure Innes will.
Okay, so a bunch of Dread Knights. Have they got Duty Eternal or something similar? No, they just have a 4-up invulnerable save, is it? They can tell...
They cannot, like all their shit can deep strike, I think.
So they can teleport strike, but they don't. So they're a little bit less survivable, I guess, because they don't have the -1 damage. But what they make up with it for a 4+ invulnerable save.
Yeah, but then they're only T6 as well. I mean, that's not amazing.
No,
their characters can be targeted as well.
Yeah, they're a bit like what are those things that I don't like? The tactical war suits. Because I don't think tactical war suits are generally survivable, and I think they're T6 and 13 wounds with no Duty Eternal. I guess these have an invulnerable save, though.
And it says I can change my Sacred Right, so that's super useful.
That's good to know, then.
Yeah, having a 5-up deny is kind of useful.
Yeah, do you know what? You're right as well. The Repentia would just rip these things apart. Because they're T6, your Repentia will wound them on 4s, right?
Yeah.
Can you buff their wound roll in the Repentia?
No, but there's a I can't remember if it's 1 or 2 CP that you can make the 6 of the hit rolls auto wound.
Okay, that'd be pretty good as well because you re-roll in all your hits as well, aren't you?
reroll hits and then the 6s burst, unless I'm
Mhm.
taking the 5-up Sacred Right to deny stuff. But I mean, I've got the 6-up deny anyway, and then I've got the 4-up CP deny. So I'd be quite. I'm not saying I'd beat it, but I'd be quite comfortable against that list. That'd be my kind of choice there.
Okay,
Yeah,
so Colin's playing the Orc player, you're playing the Grey Knight player. What am I playing?
You're playing David.
Imperial Knights and Admech. Oh, my favourite two to play against. What have we got in Admech? We've got a Tech Priest, we've got Vanguard, a very small squad, I guess. Sakari Hoplites, Cerberus Raiders,
They're those stupid horses that can run away when you charge them.
Yeah, and there's something else that they can do. They can snipe your characters, the Cerberus Raiders, can't they? I'm sure they ignore Lookout Sir on their. I mean, it's only like strength 4 -1/1 damage, but I think they're all rapid fire and they can ignore Lookout Sir. Or my yeah, they ignore Lookout Sir. 6s do a mortal wound.
And they get a pre-game move as well, so they can get pretty close, I guess.
Yeah, and it's the carbines that is this. Well, the pistols are fucking scary as well, to be honest. But the carbines are usually what like not gonna. I'm gonna have to deploy them pretty badly if my character's within 12 inches of them straight away.
Yeah, well, they can move 12-inch pre-game.
Yeah,
they can move 12 inches on the first turn. So normally you're 24 inches apart.
Yeah.
Plus the range of the pistol's 12, so that's like 36-inch.
Yeah, it's no joke. 5 -2, 2 damage. That's how Gav killed my captain in turn 1. He just threw all this chaff fire into him along with everything. It was rough. I do have bodyguards on my list now, so I mean, like, I guess if I'm going against this, maybe the bodyguards actually start on the table. That'd probably be.
Yeah, if he uses Wrath of Mars, it's only 1 CP on that unit, and then every 6 does a mortal wound.
Yeah, so the bodyguards would need to start on the table in a concealed position, basically, to protect the characters.
Yeah, but that means they're doing, unless I'm wrong, that would be 2 mortal wounds per 6 you roll.
When a Mars unit is selected to shoot until the end of the phase, each time a roll makes an attack. 6.
So I think you get up to 6 from Wrath of Mars, and then 1 extra for Eye of Cerberus. I think they would stack.
You can't use attack.
Okay. But if he was Mars, I guess that'd be good.
Oh, this is alright. This is David. Hello, David. Please. Apparently, if we play you, I'm playing you, so you can take what you want from that, because we've decided the other guys will do better against those other lists. The Disintegrators. Remind me, what do they look like? Did Gav? Oh yeah, those tanks things. Okay, and they've got the nasty.
They're indirect, aren't they? I remember rightly. The Ellerin indirect version.
Yeah. It's not as nasty as that orc weapon, but it's got a much better ballistic skill, so it probably evens out. And there's a couple of those. And then we've also got we've got 3 knights here. I was thinking with all this Admech that there wasn't going to be that many knights, but apparently there is. There's still 3 knights. A Castigator, a Preceptor. Oh, and then, sorry, these are Warglavies. Okay. I haven't played Knights since the last time I played Knights, Andrew, would have been your Knight list. I don't think you ran. I think you ran a Crusader, didn't you? Not a Castigator. Castigator bolt cannon. That's pretty nasty. Heavy 16, 6 -2/-2. They always have their Titanic feet. This one has a Warblade, which is horrifically good in melee. 26 wounds as standard, and usually a 5+ invulnerable save against range attacks as fall back and shoot, the sort of standard knight stuff that they can do. And a Preceptor. Reaper Chainsword.
It's got a 4-up invuln against range. That's what Iron Bulwark is.
That's what that does. Okay. So even stronger in its range. The chainsword is disgusting. Does it have the chainsword? Flat 6 damage?
Remember, they've got no invuln
in melee combat, yeah. That's my one saving grace, I guess. If we can make some charges on them, we can do some good damage. But they all have like 20 odd wounds, they all have toughness 8. So I don't have a ton of high strength weaponry in my list, honestly. Most of my weaponry is medium strength, like 6s and 5s and stuff. So yeah. That'll be tricky to both. It'll be tricky to drop both the knights anyway, especially with the Admech backing them up.
I mean, it gives nice points for Bring It Down. Although you can't combine Bring It Down Titan Hunter, can you? I don't think.
No.
Although Assassination,
Just
the knights are, both the knights are characters, I think. Or, well, one of them is. Where's the other characters at?
I think it'll be this HQ here, this Tech Priest.
Yeah, that'd be 3 points, and then I think both the knights are characters.
Yeah, you can't actually get 10 from Bring It Down, because... Sorry, from Assassination it would be 11, because one of them would be the Warlord.
Yeah,
oh no, 3, and... Yeah, sorry, you're right. Okay, so yeah, it's both the knights and... Okay, yeah, and then the armor warglaves. Okay.
I'd be okay against that, I think. I mean, the Repentia would tear them down.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm okay against this if I can get rid of the Raiders. You have a lot more bodyguards in your list as well. Like, you've got 16 Sacrosancts, is it?
The Lookouts are irrelevant then, which is nice.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Although you've got your guys, what are they called?
Yeah, no, I've got my company veterans that are bodyguards as well, so I could use them to definitely... But I guess the question is, yeah, they need to be deployed pretty defensively, because one squad of these guys with those pistols can probably kill the squad of company veterans.
Oh, that's the point, actually. Yeah, David's saying the Iron Cog gives them canticles, so you could essentially put your knights in cover.
Okay.
So you up. Only one of the turns, obviously, but there's like other buffs from the canticles. I think I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's other kind of buffs that would be. I guess the cover one's probably the biggest one for it, right? Because that gives them a 2-up save. I mean, knights should have a 2-up save anyway, I think.
Yeah, you would think so. But I mean, they get T8 anyway, so.
I'm still better. They nerfed my big knight from T9.
Which one was that again?
The what's it called again?
I know which one you're talking about. The Forge World Knight.
As it was like an A. It's not the Astraeus. It's the I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, that's it. There is it not? Axtis Knight,
something like that.
Okay, so cool. No easy games in that 3, I think.
Oh, Preferian, that's it. And it's got a photographic memory of the entire 40k model range.
I would like to, I think that Death Guard does best against that orc list, but like, I would be up for fighting orcs as well. I kind of...
They'll look quite fun to play against those ones.
Yeah, orcs tend to want to be in combat. I mean, I guess this one has a little bit more shooting than we normally see in an orc list, but like, I like to be in combat as well. Well, yeah, I mean, probably like 1,300 points of shooting.
That sounds like a lot of shooting, John, not a little bit.
Yeah, are the squig buggies actually good in combat, though? What have they got in combat?
I think they've got like saw blades on the side. I mean, I don't think they're not designed for it, but I don't think they're actually horrific either.
Yeah, okay. 4 attacks. Weapon skill 4. Yeah, so I guess if you can get into the buggies, then you can tear them down pretty quickly, so that
but
They're only
like
going to make 2 hits or something.
Like I think Innes was saying, they can fall back and shoot.
Yeah.
The thing, which is, I mean, so I guess you want to try and, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be that hard to blockade them in.
No, I was going to say you could wrap. If you wrap one, that's a unit, yeah. So you just need to wrap one essentially.
They can do a desperate breakout, but then they can't fire. So
yeah, and do you know what? If people are paying 2 CP for desperate breakout, that I'd be happy. Like if I wrapped one of your models and you're going to 2 CP out desperate breakout, I'm just happy you're burning your CP for something that provides so little value. Okay. Someone said hold my beer. I don't know how. Well, we'll start. We've got another Drukhari list, so this one is not going to be that useful for us going over Drukhari because we never play against it. But it's Incubi's, Cabal Warriors. This one has 3 Raiders with the Dark Lances, of course. 4 Raiders.
Who thought it was a good idea to give like their dedicated transports a las cannon with a min 4 damage? I mean, come on.
We've got the Hellions, we've got the Witches. And I guess the other thing that we haven't mentioned about Raiders is they're open topped, right? So that their models inside can shoot from the Raiders as well. Do you know what else is open topped? An Impulsor. We can't shoot from that. better much. Imagine if we could put Hellblasters and Impulsors and just shoot from that. That would be nice. It's the same as Simon's. Yeah, it seems similar.
Did you just copy Simon's then, Chris? Is that where you went with this? Or did Simon copy you? Right?
10 for Assassinate, 5 for Bring It Down. Yeah, the Bring It Down for this is just horrendous. No Prisoners is high, but like the amount of models that'll be in transports at the beginning, and the fact that transports have that built-in 5-up invulnerable save and the las cannon makes them. I think it just makes them very good. Yeah, like I generally don't understand why Impulsors are so expensive compared to these. But it is what it is, I guess.
So how many guys can you have in a Raider? Is it 6 or something?
No, I believe it's a lot. It's like 10. It's not
11.
Yeah. Okay. See. Yeah. It's not.
All right. So you could put a squad of 10 Cabalite Warriors.
Yeah, or like 10 Witches, which we just mentioned are horrifically good in combat.
Yeah. What's the? You got like another Dark Land, which is like another mini las cannon inside shooting out, right? Say it's a squad of 10 Cabalite Warriors. And then the Blaster, which is another Melta-gun. You got 2 of them. They're 18-inch range. So you got 2 Meltas, a las cannon on top, a las cannon inside, and then whatever else they're armed with. Yeah,
and I mean they're just great protection. Like if I kill one of these things in melee combat, then 10 Witches pop out and I am dead next turn. Did you see Thousand Suns Rhinos have 5 double plus now? I didn't see that. Haven't seen anyone running 1000 plus Rhinos though.
And that's after my sister's ones lost their 6-up, get a wound back in the movement phase that I never did anyway.
I remember that. Alright, so another Dark Eldar list. I don't know which of the 3 of us is best against that. I guess we'll have to have a discussion. We're then looking at a Custodes and Militarum list, which I guess that's kind of interesting. We haven't seen that. No Prisoners 55. You would expect it to be kind of lower with Custodes in here. Okay, Captain General Trajan Valorous. That's the captain you run that's normally on the bike, is it?
No, he's on foot.
He's the one on foot.
He gives reroll hits and wound rolls of 1, and he lets you do the strat for free, so you can do that thing with the bikes for 3 CP for nothing once per game.
Your bikes can charge in the opponent's turn, okay. How does that work with the new charging rules, by the way? If you charge in the opponent's turn, do you have a fight first from charging, or? I actually have no idea.
It counts as you having charged, but then I can't remember if there's actually wording on the codex for it. I think it would be essentially. I don't think the play system made the changes. I would assume it just you have a fight first.
Yeah. So, but
So if you
charged a unit of mine that charged another unit, I would get to fight first because it's my turn, so I have precedence in the fight first section.
But if I like charge into a unit that you had charged something else, that you wouldn't be able to hit them because you, if you know what I mean, you'd only be able to do that if you had a fight first, and I charged into that unit with it. Like say it was like what's the sister's character? The fight first, Ethereal Stern. So like say like they did that special move to charge into Ethereal Stern. Then I think he would then get to go first because he's got the fight first. Because it's your phasing.
Well, you would get to select one first, then you would get to select one, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's how it would work.
We have 5 Custodies guards with storm shields. I never think that you need this many of these guys. They're impossible. Like, you run 3 of them normally, right? Like, they're impossible to kill anyway. Why do you need 5 of them? But okay.
The Achilles, that's like the best dread. I mean, bar the Telemon.
Yeah, the Achilles dread is very good for Custodes. It's got is it sitting on a 4+ invulnerable save?
I want to say it's a 5-up, but I might be wrong. It's been a while since I played it. Let me check.
And he's used the 1 CP Eternal Pennant on it. I think that gives it like +1 strength, +1 attack, right?
Plus, it's reroll charges and +1 attack, I think.
Yeah. The
reroll charges alone's worth it, though. It's got a 5-up invuln, but it's got a 6-up Feel No Pain as well.
Okay, yeah, it's like the old Relic Contemptor, when the Relic Contemptor had the Feel No Pain, right?
And it's got Duty Eternal, obviously.
Yeah, Custodes Dreadnoughts.
I love them. I think they're great.
Yeah, we then have...
So this is the banner guy that makes everyone around him -1 to hit.
Yep. And then... I actually don't know what these ones are. Vitarian Custodians?
I think I can't remember if I've ever used them against you. They're the flying ones that can come down.
Right, yeah.
They double their pistol shots for like 1 or 2 CP, but they're crazy strong pistols. They're awesome. They are
Kinetic Destroyers, Pistol 2, Strength 6, -2 damage, unmodified 6s, or 1 additional hit. Okay.
Yeah, so they double I'm sure it's 1 CP. Yeah, Superior Fire Patterns, 1 CP. Yeah, they double the amount of shots. So they're getting like 2 shots each, 10s, 20 shots with 6s doing an additional hit. And they're hitting on 2s as well. So that's quite,
Yeah, and they also have the Buckler, which makes them pretty good in melee combat too.
And it essentially it gives them this 2-up save.
Yeah, and I was going to say they still have their 5 invulnerable save as well, right?
Yeah, they get I think that's 4-up invuln, isn't it? I think. Yeah, because they get Ages of the Empire, which is a 5-up, and then that's modified by +1 for being a Custody, like pure Custody. That's how the bikes have got the 3-up invuln.
The 3-up. Okay.
Or am I lying there? Maybe
regardless, it's a strong and vulnerable save. And then we come on to 2 Telemons, which are horrific and also have very strong saves and a ton of damage. Telemons are no joke, I guess.
Yeah, no, they're brutal. But they do drop. They do go down. And once they go down, it's like 300 points to your army, right?
Yeah.
But if they're being like babysat by the Praetor, they're -1 to hit, which is not great.
Yeah, and the Custodies have 2 ways to deny psychic powers, don't they? Like, one is a 4-up on like 1 CP.
One of them's actually like your unit's got to be targeted to do it, and the other one's like just like a Sister's Deny. I don't remember which is which, but
yeah, because I remember when I was playing against you, it was like when I want to cast Null Zone, there's like a very, very high probability chance that you will try and remove it.
That's it, yeah. Use stratagem when enemy psychic manifests a psychic power within 12 inches of an infantry or biker unit. So we can't do it for the dreads. And you can take a Deny the Witch test. So it's just a standard Deny the Witch test for 1 CP.
Okay.
It's the one where the unit's actually targeted is like the 4-up one.
You can just pay 1 CP on a 4-up, you just flat deny the power. Yeah, because oh, it doesn't work on auras? Alright, okay, so I guess Null Zone has some advantages here then, or has some potential plays against these dreadnoughts. The way that I haven't really fought Custodies since they removed the ability to take psychic powers from 2 disciplines, and the way that I got around it before was cast Null Zone when I'm more than 12 inches away from you, so that you couldn't use it, and then use Wings of Sanguinius to fly in, but they removed that ability. So it's good to know that it doesn't work on auras. Okay, so against this list, if I can get a well-placed Null Zone, I can do a lot of damage. I guess the one thing that I have to worry about is obviously the Telemons and the other Dread have -1 damage, which is annoying, but I mean, all Dreads have -1 damage at the moment, so that's that. And then the Astra Militarum stuff, we have
a CP regen unit.
Yeah.
Look at it.
And a couple of OBSEC troops, I guess.
Yeah, Grand Charge is just like 5-up regen every CP you spend, and then Curve, there's like a 6 for every enemy's strat. So you mean you're getting CP from that to feed the Custodians, I'd guess.
Nice.
And two just general OBSEC units, right?
Yeah. Just what I was going to say, what's the save on these guys? Nothing. 5+ probably, is it?
I think they're like the guys that used to have like the hot shot las cannons. They used to be called something else. I think I've still got some of the metal ones of them.
Oh, it's still called a hot shot las cannon.
Oh, they are, okay.
Or a hot shot las cannon, sorry, yeah.
They used to be called something more generic, I think. Like the actual unit of it.
-2 las guns, yeah. It's a real
scary against sister. Strength 3, 4 up to wound John. Come on.
Yeah. They basically look like those Death Corps of Krieg, do they?
They're like they're like just kind of buffed up generic guys.
Alright, I mean, one of the reasons that my list is so elite based is because I kept losing to your Custodes list because I felt like my troop choices against you did nothing. So I wouldn't hate playing against this list. I like it more than playing against the Knights list in that last group of 3, I think. Just because the Knights, once I get in combat with them, the Knights are going to be killing models because all their melee weapons are ridiculously, like they all do more than 2 damage. So every swing is a dead Marine, basically. Whereas this, I feel like I've got some things that I can use against it, and I like I said, one of the reasons I don't have so many troops in my list is because I felt like troops did nothing against Custodes, and I sort of started taking more killy units. We're on Hold My Beer list 2, and we're just moving on to list 3, and this is Adeptus Mechanicus, and we've got Assassinarium in here as well. So I'd actually thought we might have seen more assassins by now. Okay. Bring it down 13. Assassination 13. So a couple of options here. No prisoners 60 seems kind of lower. But this one's going to have the Calixtus Assassin. So this is instantly going to be best probably against you, Andrew, because
I don't have any Psychers.
You have no Psychers.
Calixtus is the one that you can only hit on 6. And it
correct, yes.
-2 to cast or something.
-2 to all powers within 18 inches, yeah. And her gun is generally better against Psychers, and she can target Psychers like she does, like she's got Lookout Sir. And then in melee combat, her big advantage is models cannot take any save that isn't an invulnerable save. So I guess like if she was attacking like a squad of sisters or a squad of Marines that don't have an invulnerable save, you just can't make saves against her.
I bet it's only you can take invuln saves, but not normal saves.
Yeah, and she also has an aura of Fight Last for 2 CP for like 3 inches. So yeah, if positioned well, I guess you could make like multiple units fight last.
I mean, that's why I like taking like Kyra, I don't know how you pronounce her name, Kyra Drakus and stuff. You know, like I really like the fight last, but
yeah, fight last is great. It's hard to ignore it. Soul Horror, yeah. Enemy units within 3, so it's not just a single model, it's all models within 3. Which I guess is pretty nice. So the Calixtus is difficult. She's going to eat up fire because you only hit her on 6s. Unless you have some sort of way to ignore that. Like to ignore all modifiers to your ballistic skill. Not many units do.
No, it's not. It's not a modifier. It literally makes your ballistic skill 6. Plus.
Yeah, there are units that ignore it though. I know incursors ignore it. I have incursors on my painting table. I just don't have any in this list.
Really? Because it's not a hit penalty.
Yeah, what's it? Each Shaman model makes a range attack. You can ignore any and all hit roll and ballistic skill modifiers. So you think
it's not a modifier?
Huh, I thought incursors ignored this.
I don't think so, unless chat can correct me. I mean, I think the best plan there is just to completely ignore it unless you're a psyker.
Yeah, and then...
Oh, Dark Reapers, yeah, because they always hit in the 3 regardless, don't they? They don't actually use a ballistic skill.
Okay.
Oh, he's saying, Reziel saying incursors ignore it.
Yeah, okay, so incursors are the one thing that Marines could use, I think, but I'm not running any. Okay, Skitari Marshal, Tech Priest, 2 of them. One Engiseer and one Manipu Plus. We then have 2 squads of Rangers, a 10-man Vanguard, a 5-man Vanguard, a 10-man Infiltrator, a 5-man Infiltrator. Infiltrators are a real pain in the arse because of their... what is it? They've got like the -1 to hit or something. I forget what it was now.
They're like an alternate Ruststalker, aren't they? They're like
you can't do rerolls within 12 inches of them. That's what it is.
Infiltrators, they're like the kind of shooty version of the Ruststalker, yeah. Right.
Yeah, and they're not. If they've got the tasers or the power swords, they're still not bad in combat as well. There's also a stratagem you can use that gives them like +2 attacks, which is pretty rough.
Oh, they've got the taser goad, so that's like the Tesla, essentially. So each hit roll does 2 additional hits.
Yeah, and there is a stratagem you can use to give them more hits. I don't know what it's called, but there is one. Or you can give them more attacks, I believe, for like 2 CP. Oh, here it is, maybe. For 1 CP, a model is charged until end of phase, add 1 to the attacks characteristics of the model. So they're not... Infiltrators are generally not bad at all. We then have Ruststalkers, and then we've got Iron Striders, with all the Cognosautal Cannons, a couple of Dune Crawlers, 3 of them actually, and then one of those Copters. And is this the Copter that drops the bombs, or is this the one with like the las cannons?
It's Mars, Rizio. Sorry, John.
This is the one with the twin Colossus las cannons. Alright, so basically it's got 2 of those nasty Strength 9 -3, D3 +3 las cannons. And if I remember correctly, the command link means that you can add leadership to a nearby or a unit as well. You can make 2 turns when you fly them. They're like the only models that can make like 2 turns, so you can move 90 degrees twice. So like a lot more mobile than the other flyers as well. So this is a very meta AdMech list, I'd say.
This is quite similar to Gav's.
I was going to say, this isn't a million miles from the list that Gav just won that tournament with. I don't think Gav has any...
Gav's got more planes than swapping out the Dune Crawlers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Gav has any Dune Crawlers, and I don't think he was using any Iron Striders either.
No.
No, he's got those Cerberus Raiders instead of the Iron Striders, but yeah, Admech are in a great place right now. Right, like they're good in melee, they're good at shooting, they have weight of fire. I guess this one's got the ability to shut down psychic as well against them, which is probably one of their weaknesses. The neutron laser got buffed as well, right?
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
The neutron laser is D3+3 now, or am I on the wrong unit?
I think it always.
Yeah, no, it's D3+3, and it's heavy D3, D3+3. Space Marine tanks got. Space Marine, yeah, we got draw the fucking short straw. I tell you, everyone else's las cannons is amazing now, and ours are just shit. But anyway, I digress. Yeah,
sisters don't even get las cannons, John.
Sisters don't get las cannons.
Mm-mm. I don't know why they don't though.
I mean, you get the +1 to all your flame weapons, I guess. So
you know what? If they did get las cannons, they'd be better than yours.
It'd be hard. It'd literally be impossible not to at this point because codex creep is real. Okay, so sorry, the Doomcrawler's T7, 11 wounds, 3+ save, but D3 strength 12 -4 las cannons. At least the Iron Striders were nerfed. I mean, I guess we can take some solace in that. Still, it's a very hard list to. Colin beat Admech. So
that was Gav, wasn't it, John? Actually,
that was Gav, yeah.
Gav Colin bet, yeah.
Sorry, so if we play against these ones, I guess Colin has to go beat the Admech again with the Death Guard. I mean, I guess I will take on the Custodes, or one of us will take on the Custodes and one of us will take on the Eldar. But I feel like you probably know Custodes better than me, but my list was maybe a little bit more planned to fight Custodes, so it's 50-50. We just toss a coin.
I'll always feel more comfortable playing an army that I know. Like, I really don't know much about Drukhari.
Okay, so I get thrown under the bus there and get to take on the Drukhari. That'd be fine. That'd be a good one for. I was going to take my camera with me, so I can take some screenshots, and then I can report back on my channel. How
your rant video after you.
Yeah, I can rant after. You know what? I haven't actually made that many rants about the new codexes. I think people are honestly surprised that I just still keep playing Blood Angels because like. Some people in my chat are like, "Wow, dude, Blood Angels are in a great place right now," and I was like, "Yeah, I know, we're so strong." But yeah, okay, I will do some more reading on Drukhari, but I do know some of it, I guess. Who would rather play me on the Dark Elder? It's going to be me. I'm going to be thrown under the bus. I actually don't even know how I would play this list, Chris.
Hey, Ennis, I nearly drew last time with you when I just ran all my sisters away. Literally, it was like coming around the board on one side. I'm just like fucking everyone off around the other side. It's just like he's trying to chase me. It's funny. That was when he had that Zenith's list for the big bird thing.
The Lord of Change.
Yeah.
All right, it's 20 to midnight. I usually go to bed about midnight. Do you want to... We could go through maybe one more very quickly.
Sure.
I don't remember what people said. Why don't we go through Two Sisters, One Chalice?
I think that's Nids, Harlequins, and Custodes.
I was going to say, so who all's playing Marines at this tournament? Is there just me and the White Scars?
The wannabe Blood Angels.
Well, hold on, we're on rolling for...
There's Death Watch. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts as Marines. Who's playing that?
That's in
the Fisters.
YI. Why Eye of Terror?
Why Eye of Terror? All right, this is gonna be the last one for tonight. Because we'll start with Dukari again. Are we taking bets on how many raiders that we have? Oh, this guy just went 6 raiders. Okay.
Raiders, John. It's
yeah, no,
fine.
they're legitimately the most balanced thing in the game.
I mean, they
okay.
went up 10
points. Yeah. I don't know if 10 points makes much difference to them, honestly. Like, not enough to stop you taking 6 of them, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to read up on. I'm going to read up on some Darth Elder stuff, I guess. I guess if we're playing them, it's going to be me. So, if we get to choose, yeah. Okay, let's see. In this list has also got 1,000 Suns. This guy's got 15 Scarab Occult Terminators at least. Demon Prince, so Araman, an Exalted Sorcerer, a Demon Prince of Tzinch. This is going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot of Psychic here, I'm guessing. Just a regular Sorcerer as well. Rubik's times 4. Remember that like Rubik's now are immune to morale and they are obsec, and their Terminators are also immune to morale and they are obsec as well. So
they not have that thing where they like ignore -1 and -2 or something, or is that
no? But to morale, they just ignore it.
No, like AP. Or am I making that up?
1 damage. They take +1 save against all 1 damage weapons, and they actually have a stratagem now where they can -1 damage from an attack. So like when my Sanguinary Guard hit the Terminators, Gav was able to spend a CP, make all my Sanguinary Guard do 1 less damage, and by doing 1 less damage, then he gets to take 1 AP off as well, because it's now back to all his dust rules, right? So, this list is going to be crazy. You're just going to have basically 10 Terminators in the center of the board with like 5 Psychers around them. They're going to be smiting and casting all sorts of manner of mortal wounds. They're going to be super hard to shift.
You can bring the Terminators back as well, right?
I think you have to take a specific discipline on this one. I'm not sure he's got it, because I thought it was like the time one that let you resurrect.
There's Temporal Surge, but that's the warp time, isn't it?
Time Flux. This is it. All right. So yeah, he does have he probably has something here, Dark Blessing or something, that lets you resurrect some of these Terminators as well. So yeah, this 1,000 Suns list will be very, very difficult to deal with. And also, it deals out like a shocking amount of mortal wounds. Like, when I played Gav, it felt like all the other phases were equal, but in the Psychic phase, he just did 15 mortal wounds and I did nothing, so it was like the game was even through the other phases, but with him throwing out 15 mortal wounds every Psychic phase, like I just fall behind because of that. Alright, cool. And then finally, we've got a Death Watch list here. So a Warlord with a jump pack, Storm Shield, so kind of like your standard Chapter Master with like I think a Zeo Phoenix blade is a Death Watch specific blade that's a little bit stronger, and he's obviously master crafted it as well. We have a Lieutenant with a Thunderhammer, Rites of War. It seems to be common to see Rites of War, and then the Primaris Tech Marine. Nowhere to Hide is a trait it's a Death Watch trait. I remember it being used in one of the other top tournament lists. It's like, what was it that say? Select 1 unit on the battlefield. Death Watch core units within 6 each time this model an attack meets an enemy unit does not save cover. Okay, yeah, so they can remove cover saves with this Primaris Tech Marine. We then have a couple of kill teams. Actually, sorry, 3 kill teams. Hey, 3 Redemptors and 2 Contemptors. Oh my god, 5 Dreadnoughts. Alright, so this is Do you know what? Someone already just won a tournament with Deathwatch running, like, I think it was 2 Redemptors and a Contemptor. So we've gone all in here, I guess, on 5 Dreads. I mean, the Dreadnoughts are very good. Obviously, comboed up with a Tech Marine as well, Lieutenant and Captain, so we can reroll 1s, reroll hits.
Contemptor's not core, though, is it?
Contemptors are core. Relic Contemptors are core, yeah. They kept the core keyword. They do cost 1 CP to include in your list, but I mean, I guess it's a small price to pay.
Oh, yeah,
so, this guy is going to have some crazy castle of Dreadnought firepower.
I was just thinking, like, the reroll 1s on the wound roll is pretty good to get the extra 6s, right?
Yeah, it's really good. I forget what this Tomb of
he's got eliminators, John.
I mean, eliminators aren't horrific. They got reduced in points cost. I was liking them for scoring. It's not showing me what this relic is.
I think you dropped him after I took the bodyguards, right? That was at the end of them. They just like can't shoot anyone.
What does this relic do? I'll put it in the chat. Someone remind me. Again, I'm sure this was used in a tour. I'm sure this was used in the. There was a list recently that won a tournament in America, I believe, and it was Deathwatch. And I remember it having this nowhere to hide, which means you can make enemies not get cover saves. And I remember it having this relic as well. I think, but I don't remember exactly what this relic does. I'm surprised Wikipedia doesn't have it, actually, because normally it's got everything. Cool. It's going to be difficult games, I think. No, it doesn't. Wikipedia really doesn't have it. Oh, here it is.
Oh. You got it.
Once per battle in your command phase, you can use a tomb. If you do, select 1 data sheet by unit from your opponent's army until the start of your next command phase. The bearer has the following ability. While a friendly Deathwatch core order is within 6, each time a model in that unit makes an attack belonging to a selected data sheet, you can reroll the wounds. Okay, so you can just...
all wounds?
Looks like it. But you can only use it once per battle.
Okay.
But...
Is it always against that data sheet, though?
Yeah, I think it's that data sheet for the rest of the battle, though, right? 1 data sheet used by a unit from your opponent's army until the start of your next... Oh no, until the start of your next command phase. The bearer has the following ability. Okay. But yeah, so you could pick the data sheet belonging to a specific type of unit that your opponent has multiple of, and then get the bonus against them for the entire turn, right?
Yeah, if it's pick a data sheet, it would be,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why it's... it'll be handy against those damn orc buggies. Yeah, it will be. It'll be handy against anyone that's got multiple of the same unit, I guess. Cool. Or, I guess if someone was running 24 Beasts of Nurgle, I suppose. Yeah, I actually... Now I'm curious. What 3 Redemptors with Macros, Stormbolters, and Onslaughts, and Rocket Pods, and 2 Contemptors with Twin Volkites. How many Beasts of Nurgle does that actually kill when you're rerolling all your ones and you're rerolling... Yeah, your ones to hit and your ones to wound, and I guess you've got the Tech Marine in there, so one of them's going to be hitting on 2s as well. Is this a Chapter Master or just a Captain? No, it's just the Captain. Okay. How many Beasts of Nurgle does that actually kill? Because it feels like it kills quite a lot. Maybe even kills quite a lot of Raiders as well. Alright, cool. I think that's probably enough for tonight. I guess there is some lists we didn't get to, but maybe we can look over them on Friday night together or something. Maybe a squad, maybe? No, surely not. Surely not one squad. gonna say, yeah, Beasts and Nurgle are crazy strong, aren't they? Okay, cool. Thank you so much for everyone watching. We had quite a lot of people watching tonight. So that was nice, like 18 concurrent and like 13 likes on the stream. So, and we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on this channel. So if anyone hasn't subscribed yet, it would be appreciated. And
you know what I'm looking forward to most for this tournament, though, John?
tell me.
I'm looking forward to the Beefeater on Friday night. That's like the pinnacle of the tournament for me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Surely not.
Well.
No, I'm just looking forward to playing some competitive 40k. It's been like with COVID and that, it's been about 3 years, hasn't it?
You haven't been to Common Ground. It's an awesome venue. Like it's always like really well set out, and like your lunches are amazing as well. You know, they do their own soup and stuff, so it's actually really. I'm a bit disappointed Frankie and Benny's closed down though, but
I'm sure we can find somewhere else. I'm sure someone will tell us where is good to get an evening meal or something. Cool. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope we gave you some interesting things to take away, I guess. And we look forward to seeing you all. And just if we all remember that it was Stephen that cheated on his points for the Bring It Down, so we'll just make sure that you tell him. I don't know Stephen. He's probably going to hate me. I've never met him. But definitely, that seemed a bit dodgy, guys. Trolling before it's even started.
Surely taking like 6 of those raiders is cheating as well, right? No,
yeah. I don't know. I want to see the Death Watch guy just hose those raiders, right? Like just absolutely hose them. That would be nice to see. Cool. All right. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Peace.